Welcome back to episode 2 of the Ultimate Beginner's Handbook. Yeah, you kind of surprised me there. Honestly, though, I was not quite 100% ready to get the full course out, but there was also 2 videos that really needed to come out first. And they actually are important if you go look at who they're for. The service transfer guide really needed to get out, or, well, walkthrough, is really just to help get players to understand where they need to go. If they want to transfer, if they want to get a new account, because that is time limited. That's if you're watching this after December 21st of 2025, no longer matters. You have to reroll. So jump over to the reroll guide, watch it, and move on. But if you've already made it this far, you should probably already know that. But if this is the first time in the first video you're ever seeing, and it's past that, yeah, you probably need to rewatch the guide now. You can no longer get your account. So what is next? After the reroll, what do we do? Well, let's see here. So, you've completed your reroll. You're looking at this account. You've got all these heroes. What next? Well, that's kind of what's next. And that's pretty much it. So, thank you for playing Outerplane. I hope you guys have enjoyed the game. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys later. Oh, you're actually expecting me to show you the content. Okay. Well, the plot of the story is really great. That's what you needed to know, right? That's after the game. This is what we're here for. This is it. She's not quite so assured of that. Okay, now for real. So, you've got all the characters, done all the polling. Congratulations. You're actually now ready to play the game. So what are we going to be doing in this? So I spent some time, we played quite a while on a test account. So I have this account, the test account, and my main account. So the reroll guide is its own account. I have a test account that we can mess with it from the beginning, and my main, which is looking back in time. Thankfully, having the test account allows me to see what you guys are seeing in real time, because it's not an older account looking down. I'm able to look up, and having this account allows me to show you guys along the way so that you can see exactly what you're seeing, and you're not going, well, I'm trying to imagine that thing not being there. And except for that, that's probably different for everybody. But, you know, I can think of 2 reasons why this needs to be here. Okay, so enough playing around with Luna. Let's talk about what we need to do in the game. So, honestly, the cheeky, honest answer and reality of this is you need to get in and you need to start working on the story. That's the honest to gosh truth. And here's why. It's because everything pretty much we're going to talk about is locked behind these 10 episodes right here. So, consider this, when you hit episode 10, I believe it's 14, you'll be done with unlocking most of the content. There will be some locked in behind season 2, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And yes, some of it will require beating all of season 2. So you've got a little while to go before you will need to worry about being at end game. Now, depending on your mileage and how fast you play, how hard you grind, how much energy you have or are spending to get whatever, will determine also some of your pacing and where you're going, because you've got a lot of stuff to do right now. But yeah, right now, one of your main things to do is just worry about going through the story. Every time you get cap locked, you go work on other content. So whenever you get to a point where you can't beat a stage due to level or whatever, that's where it's time to go work on some other stuff. The story is the main thing. The first thing you're going to actually get to when you unlock the game is you're going to get to challenge, which is going to unlock at episode 3. You're going to unlock where is it? You're going to unlock side stories at 2, 3. And you're going to unlock Veronica. Actually, while we're here and talking about Veronica, just as a 3 things that you guys need to know. One is that at the end of October, the Monad Ava is going, or the Monads Ava selection that we talked about in the reroll guide is going away. So if you are watching this in the future and you're wondering where that is, It's a event only currently in October, but they're going to be doing more stuff like this eventually. So depending on where you're at, you'll have those festivals. So she will be going away. But at 2-3, you're also going to get Veronica, which is great. She's a great defender. And this is one of the reasons why we told you not to pull for her in the banner. Because you get her, and I mean super early on. Then next, I want to confirm that Meanie for new users and returning adventurers are both on the new and returning adventurer rewards, and you do get her to 5-star, which is another reason why we told you not to pull her. So I wanted to cover that real quick. So challenges, you're going to unlock challenges, and it's probably better that I explain challenges just briefly. This is, like I said, this is meant to be a TLDR video. We'll be doing detailed explanations of a lot of this stuff for you in individual videos. So just keep waiting, be patient. If you do have questions, you don't have to wait for the video. You can come hang out with me on stream. You can come ask me in the comments below. Yes, but the idea will be eventually we'll have the video to talk about it specifically. So the best thing to do is for me to bring up my account right here under special requests. Let me just move this over here so this is easier to grab. All right, so yours won't look like this when it's unlocked. You'll have everything grayed out except for 2 things, and your currencies will be different. So you're gonna have Bounty Hunter and Bandit Chase. These are basically where you're gonna get your gold and your EXP for stuff. Now, each day you'll have 3 tickets, so do keep that in mind. You're not going to be able to clear all of this at once, and so far, from what I can tell, you're not really going to get gold locked in the game. So you don't have to really worry about gold too much, but this is why this is here, is to get that. Also, you shouldn't be amassing tons of gold. I did sit on this game for quite a while just doing all my dailies and not spending anything, which is why I amassed amount like that, but you shouldn't be struggling by any means. Also, I did end up getting the monthly, so that's why you see different tickets than what you have. And then the other one that you're going to be unlocking immediately is Bandit Chase, which this is where you're going to get your EXP from, and you're going to be able to clear and step these up over time. Now, I do want to go ahead and say that if you cannot beat a stage, don't feel like you're wasting your time in terms of, well, I need to clear the next stage. Clear what you can that day and just walk away. It's okay. Because there are things where you're going to be EXP gapped for trying to get levels. There will be things where you are, getting gear gapped. So take it for what you can that day. It is still moving you forward. Just like here, I couldn't beat stage 12. That is for real. Let me move my ugly mug out of the way, and you can see Bandit stage 12 hasn't been cleared. That stage was actually pretty difficult for my characters. I just needed to go in and actually build a team for it, so my lazy butt will be doing that soon. Once I have a good team for it, I'll jump in there and I should be able to beat it. No problems, but it's just I gotta go re-gear some characters because the gear is a little spread thin. But work your way up and clear it, because you want to get to the red food as soon as possible, which is here, and that's where you're going to be getting your bulk of your EXP as you level up. But I do want to bring this up to you as well so that you don't feel like you are going to be screwed. We're going to quickly talk about this. This is also why I told you not to pull 6 units, is because of this right here. You will get Beth, you will get Kappa, you will get Air, you will get Laplace, you will get Noah, and you will get Eternal. All you have to do is beat stage 1. We'll be going into this in a much bigger detail and talking about it, but this is why we told you. The other reason why I want to point this out is because there is 6 level 100 tickets in these, so you will be able to take 6 units to level 100 instantaneously, so you don't have to worry about EXP as much. So just know that it's there. We'll be going into that whole monster on another video, and we'll give you far more detail, but just know it's there. Okay, so challenges will unlock as you go through this. Like I said, this is just a TLDR to let you know it's here, and we'll cover this later. So just as a quick side note, actually real quick, is to let you guys know where it all unlocks at is the armor and the accessory and weapons. So armor and weapons and accessory unlocks at episode 5, stage 5. Upgrade stones will unlock at 2-7. The doppelganger right here, which is your dupes, unlocks at 6-5. Archdemon Ruins unlocks at 5-1. Skyward Tower unlocks at 3-13. Elemental Tower unlocks at 7-5. The only thing I want to say real quick on your Elemental Tower, depending on where you are in the game, if this is close to reset, which is right there, just blow through as much as you can on normal tower that very first time. This is, I think, is because I cleared. I don't know if this is actually the current rewards or if this is because I beat it already. But just go through this, beat this as much as you can on your initial thing, just in case this is activated by the time you're watching this video and there's like a couple days left. Just go ahead and try to beat as much of it you can. Don't worry about it. Just get some, because it is helpful to get the extra currency. So, yeah, that Skyward Tower unlocks there. So what next? Next we'll unlock, let's see here. So the next thing that we'll unlock is going to be events, which we'll be covering in another video, but there will always be some sort of new character event, and the Reaper and the Gangster is a permanent event until they decide to take it away. And side stories are important. You will want to do these because not only do they have rewards where you can get Aether and currencies and stuff to help you level up your gear. They've got event shops, which are awesome and help give you like duplicates and stuff. Like, I mean, here's the event one for this. You'll get dupes for Valentine. You get a sword for, I believe that sword's good for Eternal right away to use. And all sorts of stuff is in here to help you progress early on. So you definitely don't want to neglect those as they come up, especially depending on where you are in limited events. Each one has 2 different weeks worth of stuff. So depending on where you're at, try to get through those as fast as possible. Again, we'll be covering events in far more detail later, but this is just more something to say. If it's there, do try to focus and do as much of the event wherever you are, because you need to pay attention to, let me move my mug again. You need to pay attention to these numbers right here, wherever you're playing, so that you can make sure you get the most out of whatever's there, just to give you a little more of a head start. It doesn't matter if you can't beat XYZ content, that's fine. Just try to get in as far as you can go. So after events is going to unlock Arena, which is the PvP of the game. It is all bot-based PvP. Currently in the game, there's no RTA. You can play against friends, but there is no physical challenge. Like, I'm actively playing against another player. Arena is got 2 different, like I said, friendly match, and there will be a league here. You'll have several different things that we'll cover at a later date when we jump to that video. But basically, you have a daily currency grind where you actually do the PvP at, and then you can see the records and the giga whales of the game. So after the arena, we'll unlock let me double check. Joint challenge will unlock. You'll unlock the Terminus Island right here. After you beat the stage 8 in special request, you'll get access to this, which we'll be covering later. You'll get at 7-6 joint challenge will unlock. There's currently no joint challenge active as of making this video. Maybe when you join, there is one, but that unlocks there. Let's see here, make sure I've got everything covered here. We've already covered what all is in the challenges, so that brings us to World Boss, which is also not currently available, but may be available. This unlocks after beating the entire first season completely, so 10-14 will unlock World Boss, so this may be available then, but if it's not, that's why, it's just not currently in season. And then License Adventure, this unlocks after Season 1. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing anything else for that. Okay, so now jumping into Season 2, Monad Gate will unlock. for you. We are not going to, we're going to make a TLDR video when we get to this, because this isn't going to look like what you are looking at. That's actually inside of it. This unlocks after 5:16 in Season 2. The only reason what we're going to do is, if you watched the last video where we went over the dev notice, the producer's letter from where they did the service transfer, they told you that they're going to be reworking this entire piece of content. So when we get to it, it's going to be a very short video that's just going to kind of give you the overview. It will not be an official beginner's handbook video. Maybe by the time you're watching this, there is an official one. It just depends on when they update this content, because I'm not going to make an entire guide on it for it to be immediately 100% changed over and reworked to something else. So be patient with that. If you are trying to get into this, we can talk about it in stream if you're there. It's basically like a roguelite moving, I will say like a roguelite of moving through this thing. It's basically pick different tiles and you go through the tiles and you have to either defeat something, whatever. So think of it like that. But they're planning on reworking it, so we will be very limited on what we talk about with that. And then irregular extermination project, it unlocks at season 2 10:15. Beat the entire season, unlocks that. Now that's what we're currently working on, have been working on my stream, is trying to get that unlocked and blasting through the story. We're almost there. We should be getting there in the next like stream, maybe 2. And this is where you're going to be getting a lot of your in-game stuff, is in here. So that takes you all the way to the end of Season 2. Now, there is a lot to do here. And I'm going to be honest. I know it can be overwhelming, especially when you see all this stuff you've got to unlock, all these teams you've got to build. Again, that's why we are looking at the Ultimate Beginner's Handbook like this, to make sure that you all have a roadmap that's going to make this easier for you to digest. Because without this, it can be daunting to some without knowing, you know, the step-by-steps, because you don't want to, you feel like you don't want to make mistakes. I get that. That's exactly how I played Outerplane originally. It's exactly how I played Epic 7, Nikkei, you name it, any game. I always play very cautiously in the beginning, because you don't want to mess up. You don't want to spend that you don't want to spend that currency, or you don't want to spend that resource because you don't know how hard it is to get. I understand. There are games where if you do spend something, it gets really hard to get it. So we understand those aspects, which is why we are working on making sure that you can get the best on your account. Now, I know a lot of people are always like, well, what do I do? What do I do? It's a pretty chill game. Beat the story. It's going to be super fun. There's a lot more voice acting in it than I ever remember. So if you are a patient person and you want to see what the story's like, great, sit through it. If you're the skipaholic person, great, cool. All you need to know is, there's a lot of that that you need to enjoy. We'll be going through everything, talking about what all you need to unlock as we go. The one thing that I know a lot of people ask, especially on what next, is normally what's the first team I build. So that's kind of the last thing we want to talk about. So let me show that to you from the Reroll account so that you are looking at it from here. So let's jump over to that and let's show you the manage teams. So let's go ahead and talk to you just very briefly. I will do an entire team building video later, but this is kind of just to help you get out so that you can understand what you're dealing with. There are a couple different types of classes here so that you understand what you're looking at. You have knights, you have mages, you have rangers, you have strikers, and you have healers, okay? So there are 5 different types of classes, and the icons tell you what they are. The other thing we're going to briefly tell you is that this slot right here is the front of the battle slot. So this is always the most forward unit in the game. I wish they would change this to more like of an Epic 7 thing that tells you the forward unit so that it is obvious. But this is the forward unit in this slot. So this person is more likely to take damage than any of the rest. Now, there are targeting things that do get implied to the game, so take it with a grain of salt. But everybody asks me normally, what team should I kind of use in the beginning? Well, there's a reason we told you to pick Valentine, because this will be one of the units you need to get leveled up ASAP because of your hunts. So go ahead and start letting her get leveled up. If you did pull Scotty, Scotty can go here. It's not a bad idea. She's a great early game buffer. But the only reason why we're going to suggest to put Valentine over her is because Scotty is not used in the hunt you're going to be grinding to get the first really chunk core of your gear. So let Valentine get the levels early on. Now, obviously, you're going to want your damage carry unit, which was whatever you rerolled for your Demiurge banner. Depending on where you're at in the time, it could have been Luna, it could be the new OP thing. There could have been some OP limited unit that just dropped that you're wanting, a collab unit, whatever it is. That kind of just goes in your team, and that's going to be your main damage dealer. Now, Luna is the disgusting modern-day Stella for me. So you definitely want to put her in your team and start leveling her up ASAP. Now, from here, really just determines on what you want to do. So for me, back in the old days, ye olden days, there was a god tier unit that should have never existed. That was a 2-star unit that swore she was the most limited OP thing on the planet, and that her name was Tiob. Now, that was old school for me, but guess what? You've graduated from that. But day one, honestly, it really just depends, or right after you reroll, just pick some of your reroll units. It really doesn't matter. If you did roll Hilda, you can put her here in the front position. She is a tank. She will take reduce some of the damage taken for you because she'll be taking the brunt force of it. So you can throw her in immediately. If you want to do like the Holy Trinity kind of idea, the tank, the DPS, and the healer from MMOs, you could throw somebody in like Diane. You could throw in Nella. You could put in here. It really doesn't matter. I would suggest, because you will be using Diane a good bit, to probably go ahead and start leveling her up soonish. And this kind of gives you you've got a healer who can do some stuff. You've got a tank who can do some stuff. But there will be a few teams where you'll be using Diane over Nella, although Nella is also really great as well. So it really just depends on who you ended up getting on your rerolls or getting lucky with. And just to tell you this too, you can totally do this. This is completely 100% acceptable too. You can go in and go Leroy Jenkins. There is nothing wrong with this. If you want to go in and throw in every DPS unit you got, I misclicked. You know, if you want to throw in all the DPS units, go for it. It's not going to be a bad decision early on. And I know you guys are probably looking over here at the chain skill. We'll talk about this more with team building, but the TLDR is you have a starter exclusive, you have a finisher exclusive, and you have companions. Those are the 3 types of heroes, and they do different things. A starter does have a specific buff. This is a specific buff, and this is a specific buff. We'll explain all of this in greater detail later, but this is what you want to know, just because you do want to try to aim for starters. You do want to aim for a finisher. Yes, some people are better than others at those jobs, which is why this stuff is more for boss killing than it is stage clearing early on, because a lot of the bosses, you're never going to really use your chain skill, or the chain skill will kill it instantaneously. But think about this as really chunky bosses that you have to kill later. So that's really what you have to look forward to, is just progress the game, have fun. It's not complex, it's not complicated. There is a lot to have here for this. The idea is really, honestly, is we want you, the player, to have, we want you to have the best start possible, which is why when we work on the Ultimate Beginner's Handbook, it's about making sure you, the player, can experience the game in the best way possible, getting the information really as you need it. This really came from my experience with Epic 7 and all the advanced, end game players telling you things you don't need to know, or telling you stuff that doesn't actually benefit you, the new player. That's what this is for. That's what this guide is to do, is to make sure we get you the right units, where to go. But here's the cool thing, and I think one of the best things that you could say about Outerplane in general, there really is no answer to the best in slot. You know, yes, there are meta teams, but with Outerplane and the way it's designed, you can kind of use your favorite units, whatever designs you like, and it can work. It's possible. Is it the optimal route? No. Remember, meta doesn't mean best. It just means the most optimal way to do it. You can go off complete meta stuff and still beat everything you want to do. Understand that in the beginning, and that will carry you so much further in any game than relying on tier lists, relying on the most OP meta thing. If you know how to build units, you can beat stuff without having meta. Now, there is the one PS, the cliff note, the note at the bottom of the page in super fine print in legalese, is that obviously game balance design is still applicable here. So if the unit is just completely garbage in how they've built the unit, sure, that stops a lot of stuff, because gear and skill can only carry you so far. So if the numbers aren't there on a character, obviously that does matter. So that's the legalese of it. But honestly, for the most part, we've got a really good course laid out for you. I hope you guys get excited to go through this. It will get you everything you need to know. The big one for you is going to be number 6. Gearing 101 is probably going to blow your mind. The very last video so far planned is Gearing 201. Just so that you know that there is, at the bottom of this, there is a Gearing 201, which is the more advanced version. That will be getting you to end game gear. This is to get you to understand the systems. 201 is about the hard grind, getting the min-max stats down to the T. So get your popcorn ready, get the playlist pulled up, get your favorite sodas, make sure that everything's good around life, and sit and enjoy what we're about to release here. I'll try to release these as fast as possible. So it may be a couple days in a row you get some videos. It may take me a couple days to release it. I'll do my best to get them out as fast as possible. I know you guys are going to be waiting for some. I know you can't wait. So therefore, if I'm on stream, come ask me questions. If you're in my Discord, come ask us questions. If I can't answer it, somebody else can. There should be somebody at all times in the Discord who can get it, but be patient if somebody doesn't get to your answer. I am typically up about 18 to 20 hours a day, so if I'm available and I have time, I'll try to answer it immediately, again, in the comments, in the Discord, on stream. I'll try to answer all the questions that I can. If not, I'll get you somebody who can answer the question. So, I'm excited to see how you guys react to the course. I know people with Epic 7 enjoyed the beginner's handbook there. And hopefully this is laid out. If anything does change, you'll see it change in the video and explain why I changed the order. Also do know that the order will always be updated in the playlist. So if I do end up moving stuff around, it will be reflected in the playlist live. So if at any point in a video you see, let's say just real quick, that leveling units is number 3 and joining a guild is number 6, the playlist will always reflect that as well. Even though it may say 1, 2, 3 now, it will always be updated and moved accordingly into that. So at all times, you will be watching the playlist in order. It should always be correct. And if I've screwed up, let me know and I'll fix it. But there should be a reason in the video that is out of order. The most recent video should be always the most current version of this. But I'm very confident with where we're at with this, that this is the best course and the best path. So thank you guys so much for all the support on YouTube. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you guys come hang out and stream in the comments and get to see your experiences and how you enjoy Outerplane or are giving Outerplane that second chance. Thank you for that. I think you'll be quite pleasantly surprised with the direction they're going, especially if you watched the producer's letter. You can see that there is some hope coming and that they are going to be trying to make this game better, and that Smilegate is going to do that they're gonna undo what some of the stuff Smilegate has done. So thank you guys. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.